You guys might want to get a cup of tea or coffee because this might be a longer than usual video. So what I want to discuss in this video is something I've mentioned in the last few videos I've called the purity acid test. Something that I've noticed. Whenever you speak of a controversial figure, so to speak, the comment section tends to get a lot more voluminous, more animated. More intense is probably the best word. I saw it significantly during the Jordan Peterson video that I did, where the comments were far more concentrated on him rather than what my issue was, a common side effect it seems. So I want to address an overall theme of some of the last batch of comments, especially one that said I portray myself as an anti-tribalist intellectual, which I took great offense to. Intellectual? Ew, gross. No, that word is tainted. I'm not that bright, really. We all play to our strengths. Mine's the accent. I'm convinced if it wasn't for the fancy pants pretentiousness, most people wouldn't listen to a word I have to say. But back to the comments. I'll even be generous and say they have some validity to them, sure. They're just inappropriate for my analysis. And that's not the fault of the comments, that's mine as a content creator, because I'm assuming people are on my wavelength, which appears not to be the case. So in an effort to minimize this, because I know I can't eliminate this entirely, let me elaborate on my framework here so people can understand my position and my perspective. What I'm looking at primarily is the figure in question, so the anomaly, their interaction and reaction with and from the machine, and their influence on those inhabiting the machinery. And that's it. I'm not focused on the morality, the good or the bad, or the hard evidence. It's a very utilitarian kind of perspective that I'm aiming for here. I don't care about the facts or logic. Now let me explain that before people's heads explode and that gets taken out of context. See, here's the truth. Humans in a mass are not moved by facts and logic. We're not that black and white. We're not that cold and rational. If we were, there'd be no need for politics. Alas, we are humans. We are moved by stories, by tales, by the narrative, by the official story, if you will. Now, as with any story, it needs the power to resonate, to induce animation. Whether it's true or false is irrelevant. Its only goal is the animation, and it will use whichever fuel best powers it. So think of humans as vehicles. Some vehicles are powered by diesel and some by petrol. The narrative's fuel is diesel. If you have a diesel engine, it will move you. If you have critical thinking skills and therefore a petrol engine, that fuel isn't going to move you. No, it's just going to do some damage. This is why some people appear completely insane, and also why the state is so hell-bent on public education. It is to stamp out the critical thinking component, to fit as many as they can, as early as they can, with the diesel engine. Once that engine is in place that believes the crazy, like the right-winger or loony, fascist, Nazi white supremacists, insert wacky slogan noises that stir the frequency which activates the angry, they can pump all kinds of nonsense into people's heads that's compatible with that engine. Things like, women go back in the kitchen, take away abortion, 1950s, they're coming to kill minorities, be terrified, etc., etc. That diesel fuel is called cede more power to the state. Again, doesn't matter if it's true or false. If lies animate more effectively than the truth, they will go with the lies. And if you look at how technology has greatly eroded people's attention spans, not to mention the speed at which news can be cranked out these days, there's very little incentive for the machine to be honest when the first thing that grabs people's attention is the one that sticks. So if you're slowly discontinuing the production of the petrol engine over time, the diesel fuel might very well appear to increase in potency, yet lack the quality, i.e. the sophistication of the propaganda. Or to put it more bluntly, more stupid people believe even stupider things. Also might make the petrol engine think that everyone around them has lost their marbles. Again, hence why so many people appear to be completely insane. Once you can truly grasp that concept, holy sweet Moses, you will see the news, you'll read articles, you will see social media conversations and go, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. Be like that scene in The Matrix where Neo sees the agents in code. Which brings us to the tribalist angle. As anyone who pays attention can clearly notice, society has been poisoned to the gills with the rampant infectious spread of that illness we all call politicization. Now, fortunately, due to the familiar and ever-repeating patterns utilized as a consequence of said infectious spread of politicization, a sizable chunk of society can see the traps of politicization. Unfortunately, the number of people who still wander into and trigger the traps regardless is still extremely high. These prominent public figures, due to their large followings, will gather an audience and subsequently be placed into a certain camp and labeled based on the perceived dominating orientation of the audience that supports them. It's the affiliation of their audience that gets them the political label. It has very little to do with what they themselves actually believe or do. And yet, due to the label, this exacerbates the situation and the tribalism keeps growing, becoming the assumed default position that so many, if not adhered to themselves, get lumped into. It's pretty much the enemy of the enemy is my friend proverb being played out here, both directly and as a labeling mechanism, i.e. you like and or support Andrew Tate, therefore you're a chauvinist right-winger, or you're a chauvinistic right-winger, therefore you must like Andrew Tate. Which is complete bollocks, by the way, and they're not mutually exclusive. But again, tribalism has its glaring inconsistencies. Because as we can all figure out by now, people like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson, they're not exactly political figures really. They happen to espouse certain positions and motivations that move and embolden young men. Their philosophies, if we can call them that, are antithetical to the wishes of the machine. Their values are timeless and stretch across cultural boundaries, which is why they have fans worldwide. It's a positive message. Here's the skinny of the story. To the machine, you as an individual do not matter. What will catch the eye of Sauron, though, is when you have the capacity to wield power and start acting like a general. When you can start marshalling an army, you can cause the earth to quake. What matters is the size of your forces, their equipment, and why you've motivated them to fight. When you look at someone like Andrew Tate, you can't say, oh, considering the stuff he's done, he's a complete idiot drawing so much attention to himself. That's certainly a position that has some merit, sure, but there is another perspective, whether he's done this deliberately or not, where he looks a freaking genius. Here's the reality. Humans are flawed. They're not perfect. If someone is 80% asshole and 20% good, if the 20% is what goes viral and propels them towards stardom, the 20% will outweigh the 80%, every time. And Tate has all of the pristine plot points to construct a fantastic narrative. Because while he may have done some questionable things, the fact of the matter is this: his fans don't and will not care. Why? Because it does not impact them personally. And that's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. Those are his sins, and his fans have no interest in emulating them. The 20% is what put them in the right place mentally, and it's what's motivated them towards a better place in their life. And that is why he has the support he has. As far as the narrative goes, Andrew can come out and say, look at the sins of the machine. Look at Epstein, who catered to the wretched, depraved desires of the elites for decades. Nothing was done. The CP on Twitter before Elon Musk took over, the hypocrisy of Hollywood that morally postures all damn day, yet behind the scenes it's a drug-den whorehouse. Public education, in conjunction with Big Pharma, wants to scar and permanently mutilate the young, both mentally and physically, with indoctrination. Quite clearly, the machine does not give a damn about female exploitation, or the degradation of males for that matter. The machine has no concern for human life at all, frankly. Andrew's crimes, whatever they may be, pales in comparison. His tale of the machine only giving a damn about his existence now that he's speaking out against its wishes? Very interesting. Again, whether it's true or not, irrelevant. Is it believable? Overwhelmingly yes. And that's the point. That positive resonance is all that matters. This is why Trump still has support. This is why Musk has fans and why Tate has his. Oh my God, Trump is a racist, terrible white supremacist. Don't care. I have money in my wallet. Oh my God, Andrew Tate is such a terrible sexist misogynist. Don't care. He made Anna Kasparian lose her tiny mind. It made me happy. Oh my God, Elon Musk is a terrible white supremacist, enabling conservative. Don't care. Thanks to his Twitter files, I can drag my balls over so many people's faces, take my pure-blooded, fine self, hop on my high horse, and tell everyone to fuck off, because I was right about everything. Whether people like it or not, for good or ill, come hell or high water, men like these will always move the masses and will always be crowned our champions. And that is all for today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you damn well learned something.